two millionaires couldn't get a taxi. Not because they were broke, not because they were lost, but because there were none. A freezing night in Paris, snow falling, empty streets. They waited and waited. Nothing. Finally, and they gave up and paid $800 just to get home. And in that moment, changed everything. Because instead of forgetting it, they asked a simple question. What if you could tap a button and a car shows up? That one question became Uber. Back in San Francisco, that idea wouldn't leave Garrett Camp's mind. He started sketching it out, an app that connects riders to drivers. No taxis, no dispatch centers. Just a tap, and a car arrives. Simple, but powerful. He brought in engineers, built a prototype, and called it UberCab. In 2010, they launched quietly in San Francisco. At first, it was only luxury black cars, expensive, but smooth. You tap your phone, and a sleek car shows up. But the real magic wasn't the car, it was control. For the first time, you could actually see your ride moving towards you. No guessing, no uncertainty, just certainty. People loved it. But just as things started working, everything almost collapsed. One word, in their name, was illegal. Regulators stepped in. UberCab had to shut down. Just like that. They had less than 24 hours, so they made a decision. They didn't fight it. They didn't argue. They simply erased one word. UberCab became Uber overnight. And that tiny change saved the company. But more importantly, it made them faster because now they stopped playing safe. In 2012, they made their biggest move, UberX. This changed everything. Before this, Uber was premium. After this, it became accessible. Now anyone with a car could become a driver. Prices dropped, drivers flooded in, and growth exploded. Suddenly, Uber wasn't a luxury anymore, it was everywhere. But with that growth came chaos. Cities started pushing back. Taxi unions were furious. In some places, protests turned violent. Cars were attacked. Drivers were threatened. Entire cities tried to ban Uber completely, but Uber had one advantage: speed. They moved faster than the rules. While others waited for permission, Uber expanded aggressively. Travis Kalanick, the CEO at the time, had a mindset. We're pirates. Meaning they don't wait, they move, and deal with consequences later. And it worked. Money started pouring in. Investors saw the potential. Billions of dollars flowed into the company. And Uber scaled globally. City after city, country after country. In just a few years, they were everywhere. By 2015, Uber was operating in over 60 countries, but internally, things were starting to break. The aggressive culture, the rapid growth, it all started catching up. In 2017, Travis Kalanick stepped down as CEO. The company had grown fast, but not always clean. Still, Uber kept moving forward. In 2014, they launched Uber Eats, expanding beyond rides and into food delivery. Another massive market. Then came one of the biggest moments. In 2019, Uber went public, an IPO valued at over $80 billion. Even though they were still losing money, billions of dollars in losses, and yet they kept growing. And then finally, in 2023, Uber reported its first profit. After years of burning cash, they turned profitable. Today, Uber operates in more than 70 countries, over 10,000 cities, with a market value of over $150 billion. But here's the most important part. Uber doesn't own cars. It doesn't employ drivers the traditional way. It doesn't manage fleets. Instead, it built a platform, a system that connects supply and demand. And that is where the real power is, because when you control demand, you control the market. And that leads to some powerful lessons. Lesson 1. Big companies don't start with genius ideas, they start with frustration, a problem, something broken, something annoying. That's where opportunity lives. Lesson 2. Speed beats perfection. Uber didn't wait for everything to be perfect. They launched, they adapted, they fixed things along the way. Messy, but effective. Lesson 3. Don't own the asset, own the platform. Uber doesn't own cars, but it controls millions of rides every single day. That's leverage, and that's scale. And it all started with one bad night, one frustrating experience, one simple idea. Everyone has moments like that, a small inconvenience, a broken system, something that doesn't make sense. Most people ignore it, but a few turn it into something massive. So think about it. What's your version of that snowy night? Because that might be your biggest opportunity